Welcome to LOCKBEARD Phenomena number 148. Sewid Faux Pas. It is Friday, Friggis Day, May 17th, 2024. Went ahead and started early because the temperature's pretty reasonable. There's some cloud cover, some breeze and stuff. So here another month, it'll be too hot to do no 5:45 nonsense. It just will. You know, there's a shortage of places with good Wi-Fi for me to park that also has at least shade. There's no damn shade in this place. So, let us. Well, hold on a second. Whoops. Don't play. Bring up the chat. Bring up the chat. Boom. Well, we don't want that layout. We want this layout. I think. Yeah. Hold on a second while I get this thing straightened out. Oh, we better turn on the live chat, right? Turn on the live chat. Yes. All right. Wish I could set it up somehow permanently where it's just that the chat is always somewhere on the screen. But this is what we got. So, Volta BS, aka Donald, he was first in the chat. Says, rest in peace, Uncle Bones, to, as does JoJo, myself. Welcome, JoJo. Welcome, Angel. Rest in peace, Uncle Bones. You will be missed. Ocean Pond says, hello, everyone, and rest in peace, Uncle Bones. Yeah. So, as when Uncle Bones stopped coming around, there was obviously a lot of people had in their mind, there's possibly this is what happened, and I guess it did. Uncle Bones has passed away. Ryan Chewy's here. Welcome. Chessboard says, rest in peace, Michael, which was Uncle Bones' real first name. I know I've seen where people are talking about his name in a place or two, I guess. So I don't know if it's okay to release his full name or not, or if it doesn't really matter. We all knew him as Uncle Bones 2 in the chat. And that's who he be. But he's also Michael. It was very, very heavy presence in some of the chats. Angel, welcome. Uncle Bones leaves Donald leaves a link to go over. He's made a video. I assume this is the video you made for Uncle Bones. So go check that out. Chessboard, welcome. Everybody's getting their highs and hellos in. Donald says, I moved Uncle Bones' obituary to this channel so people are more comfy with leaving their thoughts. Yeah, it makes sense. I think some people may not even be sure who Volta BS is. Raptor says, hello, everyone. Hope you guys are good. Welcome, Raptor. Brian Chewy says, great guy. He will be missed in the chats for sure. Yeah. Yep. Where is... There we go. Man, that's a public site, so that's Uncle Bones. Passed away on the 12th. So it's Lockbeard Phenomena Friday night. Surprised to be off work tonight. Well, yeah, off work in the evening. I worked today. Patty Troy, welcome. Welcome to the chat. Cops paid me a visit right here a couple nights ago. They were just, new to the night shift, checking me out. They mentioned it. They asked if I'd seen anybody do anything they shouldn't be around this place stretch here. It's a public building. And I guess somebody vandalized something. I'm not sure exactly what they were. They were vague about what was vandalized exactly. I tell you what they need to get is whoever the dude is that goes into that bathroom and vandalizes it. Like whoever this guy is, because I go into the men's room because I'm a biological male. And biological males, every last one belong in the men's room. Oh yeah, I said it. Yep, I said it. Holy shit. YouTube's purging people for breaking their little social rules. And they're doing retroactive stuff too. So like it's just Jesus Christ. YouTube, get over yourselves. You're not winning. The more you push your bullshit, the more people push back. Don't you know how humans work, you morons? YouTube morons, idiots. And guess what? Joe Biden can bring a whole team of people in to try and cheat the election. He's not going to be able to pull it off this time. He cheated 2020. That's a fact. We all saw it. We all know what happened. We know it was a cheated, rigged election, and the true current president is Donald Trump. As wild as that is to me in certain ways, the fact is that the legit president, if the election had not been rigged up, the legit current president is Donald Trump. And you'll never be able to change that. History will record that. Democrats, you are exposed. Deep state, you are exposed. Rich morons, you are all exposed. You can't hide this fact. You act like, we're winning. You're not winning shit, you morons. Donald Trump won this election. So Donald Trump will go down in history as the only president who won 3 elections, legitimately won 3 elections, but had one of them stolen from him. and was technically, legally, a president in exile. Joe Biden is not, never was, and never will be a president of the United States. And you can kiss my ass, YouTube, and any leftist moron, woke piece of shit idiots. You can all kiss my ass, because the facts are the facts. Anyone with half a brain sees that what I just said is absolutely goddamn true. You gonna ban me, YouTube? You gonna ban? How many people they banned so far? They banned a lot of people because they're having a new round of purges going on. Donald says they didn't say move along, boy. We need no long-haired, bearded, freaky people in these parts. No, they didn't say that. One of them was a lady cop. I think she was. I think she was into me. She was smiling. She's smiling at me. Mm-hmm. I think she was a Latina. I think she was down. Raptor says, sorry to hear about Uncle Bones too. At least I looked up to him because he would at least tell me to chill or think about it this way. Donald says, Raptor, click the link and put that in the comments. It's for Uncle Bones' family. Chessboard says, Donald, I'll be 77 next Friday and broke my heart when Pete sent me the email yesterday. Uncle Bones and I communicated by email often, and I cannot express how to thank you for what you did. Yeah. Thanks, Donald. Yeah. I don't know if there's, because when you search for the obituary, this is all I found so far. I'm sure something more will turn up. Also, Chessboard same here. We didn't talk much about Bigfoot. We told our stories of him on the clay bull ring and me on the northeast asphalt. Jojo says yes, thank you, Donald. And speaking of Donald has a lot of influence in these parts. So you mentioned Sewid, and well, this was what was it over? I think it was Squatch America. I think it was on Squatch America, where you brought up this little thing about Sewid, and so yeah, it's old news. It's old news, and it's probably not a big deal to a lot of people. But the new people wander in, right, and they see all the things and all the names, and it's good to kind of throw a little reminder at them, because they're not being reminded, they're being exposed to this information brand new. The new people, people who have newly become interested in paranormal stuff, or they've newly experienced something. They saw a Bigfoot, they saw a ghost, they saw a UFO, or some other cryptid. They seen something weird that they can't explain. Had a strange experience, maybe an out of body experience. Maybe they experienced remote viewing or astral projection. Something got them interested, and so they're starting to poke around on the internet. They're going to run across a bunch of BS, and you got to fight that with some reasonable discussions about stuff. And this particular thing interests me because it's something that's Well, it has affected me a lot. As far as I was just talking about this, the I told you all the story. I was talking about the evidence, the archaeological evidence that Native Americans were not the first people in the United States or in Americas. There were older people here long ago. Many of the native cultures throughout the Americas talk about in their stories the ancient people that were here before. Sometimes they talk about them as if they were some kind of gods or powerful beings, and they're just described as tall, bearded people. It's a description of Europeans, is what it is. It's a description of Europeans. And I've mentioned about the Solitrian hypothesis, which discusses this idea about, and there's evidence. There's a ton of evidence for it that ancient Europeans came to the Americas long before Native American Indians were even a thing. Native American Indians are the product of a blending of those ancient Europeans, about 25% of their DNA apparently, and a new migration of Asian people, 10 to 15,000 years ago. Those new Asians came in. There was a lot of fighting, a lot of button heads. A lot of people died. And those that survived, there was a blending of the two races. That's why you look at Native Americans and what they look like. They, for the most part, look like what you would have if you blended some Europeans with some Asians, right? Right. And that's what they are. That's what the DNA shows of supposed purebloods and so on and so forth. So anyway, I was talking about this stuff, and somebody didn't like it, and they called the feds on me, and it kind of destroyed my career because I wanted to talk about the truth. Because some people get a little too uppity about looking at ancient bones, ancient remains. And I'm not talking about going in just disrespecting shit or destroying shit. No, you preserve and you do proper procedures when excavating ancient artifacts and human remains, no matter who they are. And I want them studied. But the Native American government, the tribal governments, along with the United States government, utilized NAGPRA, the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act. They utilize that. They misuse it to steal the remains of ancient Caucasians over 9,000 years old and older, to steal them, claim that they belong to a Native American tribe, and then a Native American tribe takes them and buries them according to their custom, even though they're not really theirs. That's what that Kennewick Man case was the case of the Umatilla tribe trying to take some Caucasian remains that were about 9,000 years old and bury them and basically take them away from archaeology so they couldn't be studied. Now they'll claim, no, this is our people, but no, it wasn't. And it went to court. The tribe lost because they could not demonstrate that this was a tribe, their tribe. These were Caucasian bones. And gotta bring down my shade here. The sun's getting crazy on the lens. So anyway, it's affected me. These people who want to have all these issues about looking at ancient bones, these aren't family members. This isn't grandma and grandpa. These are thousands of years old, and people need to chill the fuck out. Now the good thing is I want everyone out there to know that NAGPRA does not require you to turn in Indian bones found on private land. If it's your private land, you don't have to turn in shit. You can if you want to. You can. I mean, you could give it to the tribe you think it belongs to, but make sure it is actually belongs to them. Because very often it doesn't, because some of these tribal governments know damn well what's going on and will try to hide the fact that they were not the original people here. They just weren't. And they will misuse NAGPRA and take those bones and bury them and hide them so that to try and prevent people from knowing. But guess what? The secret's out. And all they've done is encourage me to tell people about this forever. Forever. They fucked up my life pretty bad for wanting to tell the truth, which is an honorable thing, I think. Wanting the truth to be known. You know, where's this Native American honor at with these tribes? You know, I tried to get them engaged in certain things that were, you know, of some kind of cultural importance to some of these tribes, and they're not interested. The only thing they want me to do when I worked for them was find a grant, find some money, and then, because what the tribal governments do, this is what they do, okay? Because they're corrupt, just like every government, just like the United States government, just like Israel's government, they're all corrupt. And so what they want you to do is find a grant, because I tell them, say, you know, you're making a lot of money at the casinos, maybe we could do this program or that program, and blah blah blah, and fund some stuff, you know, because some tribes take their casino they do actually give some of the casino profits to their tribal citizens. Some of them don't. Where that money goes, it goes down a little drain somewhere, and part of that drain, a big part of that is whenever they get a grant, they'll take a chunk off. They'll just grab a big chunk, and they'll say, this is administrative cost, and put it in somebody's pocket somewhere. It goes in their pocket somewhere. And it's just a way that they steal money from the taxpayers. You know, many of whom are tribal citizens, but they don't give a fuck. And if you actually get involved with some of these tribes, you find out there's a big division in the tribes. You know, it ain't like I'm some white boy here talking shit. I am a tribal member, and a lot of purebloods would still consider me a white boy talking shit. Let's be real. But but ask the tribe members themselves. They'll tell you that you have certain people that are in control of the government, and they get all the shit, and then everybody else gets scraps. They get the bare minimum required by the federal government when the federal government funds those programs. I can't tell you as I sit here that any Native American tribe is free of corruption. I bet every single one of them are. Every single one. And just like there are Jews who are against the Israeli government because they know it's corrupt, they know it's doing evil things over there, there are many Native American tribe members who are against their tribal governments because the tribal governments are engaged in corrupt activities. And part of that corrupt activities is fucking up my life, calling the feds to come fuck with me. Secret Service fucking showed up and destroying my career because I wanted to discuss the NAGPRA misuse issue. Oh, we can't have that. You need to shut the fuck up. I got canceled long before canceled got big, right? Before anyone was using that word. I got canceled long before that whole concept come up getting canceled. I was canceled all the fuck. So that brings us to Mr. Sewid, right? So how do you think I'm going to feel about what this guy did and the criticisms of him? I do have criticism of him, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that because we haven't. I don't think we've ever talked about Sewid here, have we? But Donald got me thinking about it because Donald brought it up the other day in the chat. Let me catch up in our chat, shall I? Shall we? Phoenicians, Carthaginians, yeah. There seems to be connections with a lot of different cultures, like the Shoshone Indians. Apparently, that word has connections to Egypt. I think it is Egypt. Stuff like that. There's rumor that there was some ruins found, like in the canyons in Grand Canyon, that were very similar to stuff you would see in Egypt. But all this is really probably tying back to the ancient civilization we talk about, the one that existed up until about 13,000 years ago, that got wiped out by a huge fucking rock that hit the planet. And that's called the Younger Dryas impact, when most of our major prey got wiped out. Probably everybody just went and hunted and built crazy technology. It wouldn't have been like, you wouldn't have as an advanced culture. I can't see how this culture would have looked like ours. Like, we look around, we think this is an advanced culture. I'm like, no, this is actually kind of a piddle fuck half-assed job of an advanced culture, as far as I envision, based on all the stuff I've seen and looking at this ancient culture. There's just not. I mean, I could try to describe what I envision, what the world once was, and it just wouldn't come across in language. I don't know. Hollywood, get in touch with me. We'll do a movie. If we put it on the screen, we rub a bunch of CGI on it, and we'll write a movie. I'll write the fucking movie. I write the damn movie. I don't want anyone else writing on it. There's no writing team. I don't know why the hell you guys need writing teams. Seriously. Seriously, why do you need a whole team of writers? You need one good guy. Maybe there's a woman or two too, to write a proper story. When you got all those, that's part of your problem, I think, is you got all these people just throwing a bunch of shit against the wall, and and certain things stick, and then y'all just like, oh, that sounds cool, and then you try to stick it all together, and it don't fit together because it isn't one person's vision. One person's vision will often have some coherency. It'll be consistent with itself. It won't have a bunch of contradictory bullshit that don't make any sense. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. Anyway, that's what should happen. Hollywood, contact me. Let's make a movie. Let's make a bunch of movies, man. We could revitalize the movie theaters, but as it looks, I think the movie theaters are fucking doomed. The only way, mark my words, the only way to save the movie theaters at this point is, well, it was in Dune, okay? It was in the Dune novels, not the book Dune. Like, there were some hints about it in the book Dune, and then Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, and all the other Dune books. But we're talking about the prequels from thousands. They did the prequels from thousands of years earlier, discussing the machine crusade, or the Butlerian jihad. From the human perspective, it's Butlerian jihad. It's because anyway, the Butler family name, blah blah blah. Anyway, because they learned in the ancient history of the Dune universe that AI was bad juju, and it's just banned. It's just fucking banned. Nobody will accept the machines. The commandment goes, I think I might not get it exactly right. Thou shalt not make a machine in the image of the mind of a human or the mind of a man or something like that. In other words, don't make AI. AI is banned, and we may have to do that. And that's the only thing that will save the movie industry, because we're probably only a few short years away from you jump on a website and you tell the AI, I want to watch a movie, and I want, and it'll just ask you a series of questions about how to make the movie, and it'll be just like in Total Recall when they were trying to put together what his fake memory vacation was going to be. The AI just asks you a number of questions, or maybe you log in, the AI knows you so well because it tracks all your behaviors and bullshit and what you watch, and that it says, hey, I got a movie for you today. And it'll be completely AI generated movies. Yeah, movie industry's probably done. It's probably over. It's over. They had metals like copper that predate Native Americans. Oh, I think they had metal beyond that. See, the problem with metal, because people think, okay, we're going to find all these metals and stuff like that, and they're not really finding what they thought. Well, I think some of the stuff that is would indicate more advanced, it gets confiscated by the government probably, because they don't want you to know that we are not the most advanced civilization that ever existed. That existed 15,000 years ago or so. That is probably the real source of UFOs. Not aliens. It's not aliens. Those little grays, we're going to talk about them in a little bit. Those little grays, no. We discussed why I think that's. I think it's ridiculous to think that they are alien, and that Occam's razor says those are probably a race of humans. A race of humans. They're from here. Maybe even the current. Maybe they're what's left of that ancient civilization, the ones that actually ruled everything. But and then another thing is metals get raided and stolen from anytime metal gets found, it gets melted down and repurposed. But beyond that, I think that they were beyond the need for using metals in the ways that we do. Like they didn't. I mean, look at these pyramids and all these structures they built. There's not a steel structure in there. And guess what? Those things have lasted way longer than any of our steel structures will. Our steel structures, because the stone is something that's nature has made, that's something that sticks around, right? It hangs around. It's not reactive in the way that if you take that, if you go take that ore, that stone, and you purify it into an unnatural form of iron or whatever metal you got, well, it doesn't want to be in that form, and so nature's going to work really hard to take it back to where it's supposed to be. So iron will rust until it's gone. It'll be gone very quickly. You could build pyramids of iron, and that's a lot of freaking iron. For one thing, that's a lot of freaking iron. But if you did build a pyramid of iron, just the only way it would hang around is just because it's if it was one huge chunk of iron, and yeah, that chunk's going to hang around for a while. But our steel structures, they're all going to rust away long before a pyramid of stone would. So, and there's another thing. I don't think they didn't build like we do. And what they did build, what we see, like, we don't know how the hell they did that. That's some freaky shit, some of the stuff they've done. And we don't know how they did it. But it looks like they had to have some kind of magical shit going on, because they didn't just chisel shit. I'm sure there might have been some chiseling going on, but they didn't just chisel shit like that. Something funky is going on. And guaranteed they were using anti-gravity. Guaranteed. They had anti-gravity technology. No way they lifted all those heavy-ass stones, just by brute force or pulleys or levers or any of that shit. I mean, it's just too much. If it was just a few of them, okay, maybe, I'd go along with it. But the vast quantity of stone they moved, and giant stones, like they could have built out small stones, but they chose to build out the biggest fucking stones they could. And so why would they do that? Unless it was somehow very easy for them to do it because they had anti-gravity technology. They had command over gravity. So, yep. Aztecs had settlements in the south of America. Cahokia, Aztec area, Mississippian culture. Repatriation is a crock. Don't get a chance to study them. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, if it's like recent, like if it's a 1,100-year-old Native American remains, I'm not going to make too much of a stink about. And it's on public property. Yeah, whatever. Take it, bury your remains. Whatever. But they've been misusing NAGPRA to take remains that aren't Native American, and that needs to be called out because it's dishonorable, and I think it's criminal. I think it's criminal what they did to me, but whatever. Vengeance will be mine, saith Lockbeard. One day I'll have my hand on a little lever that'll make things difficult for you, and I'll have a decision: do I want to do it or not? I'm gonna think, I'm gonna do it. You know who you are out there. Well, actually, some of the people involved were probably dead. They were so fucking old. But before Clovis can't be studied. Yeah, they don't want you to study, and Clovis, like, they don't want you to understand that actually Clovis is out of Europe. That technology comes out of Europe. If Native Americans were the first ones here, why isn't it coming out of Asia? There's no evidence of it coming out of Asia. What they had in Asia was different. The Clovis technology came from Europe. Y'all stalking me? Jojo says, I was here first, though, so you're stalking me. First in line. What? Ghosting? This thing's getting spastic for some reason. Oh, damn sun's coming out. Son of a bitch. You usually type, so you were here after me. Jojo and Graz are having a skulks to the corner. What? Having a little discussion there. Don says, my ex-fiance dug up burial bones that UVM came in and studies. The state paid her fair market value for it. They came back to being Abenaki. Someone messaged Locke to get caught up in here. I don't think we have, but I felt the people, I think he's a good man. I don't feel that way. Huh? Donald says, Lockbeard Mike Bueller showed me some cool spearheads and possible arrowheads he found. Yeah, the other day I told him to get. Yeah, he sent me. He messaged me. Yep. Yeah, it's not like the stone was on site of the pyramids. It came from miles away. Yeah, there's that too. And they'll try to say, well, they floated it on boats and stuff like that. Well, that don't explain some of the other sites. the pyramids are not the only sites. Plus, there's hundreds of pyramids. And it appears that there's some well, I guarantee there's some pyramids that haven't been found yet. Plus, the sea level was 400 feet lower 13,000 years ago. So, potentially, the majority of ancient sites is underwater because humans tend to live along the sea. We congregate towards the seashore because we are semi-aquatic coastal marine animals. That's how we began our evolution towards being what we are. That's how we got the hairlessness of much of our body. That's how we became upright. At least that's my hypothesis. That's the real way that we became upright walking. And that no other ape is going to walk upright without some kind of stimulus long term. You got to have a look. People think, an ape's just going to stand up gradually and it's going to, and no, you got to have long term, consistent environmental pressure to change you from the chimp form to the human form. Something had to be a long-term, consistent way to change them to walking the way we do. And I believe that was going into the sea, wading into the sea. That's why our hands and our feet crinkle up in the water. That's a neurological response telling the hands and feet to become to give them more. Give you more traction for walking and grip for grabbing slippery things. The permanent expansion of the carotid artery when you dive down, held breath swimming. That causes an increase in IQ in humans if you do that. It goes on the fat distribution, the hairlessness thing, and all that stuff. So yeah. The majority of our structures are probably under the water, and so I almost want the world to cool off so that we'll have a buildup in ice on the caps, and that will allow us to find, that means the sea level will come down, and then we'll be able to discover all kinds of new archaeological sites. And hopefully a lot of them will be very well preserved because that's the sea level rose fairly quickly, 400 feet, and then sediment would have covered over those places and they wouldn't have been exposed to freeze thaw erosion and stuff like that. They would have been semi-preserved down there. There's probably a lot of shit to find in the sea. Oh, yeah. Mr. Lee's here. About damn time. Mr. Lee. What are you doing? Rewrite the comments, please. Edward Leedskillen in. Discover the secrets of the pyramids. Back family phone call. Stalker. Grasshopper says, I was still watching you, be very afraid. Oh, we barely started, Mr. Lee, but yeah. Hold on a second. I need to. Some dogs barking back here. I need to do something here. See if I can pull it off while we're in live stream. Should have done this before, but I forgot about it. Mm. Upload. How long will it upload? Oh, it's going pretty quick. Mr. Lee, where's Tom at? Where's Tom? Got a very special clip for Tom, Mr. Lee. Oh, yes.
Now, I want you to look at this flag. You may have seen it before. Hell, you might even know what some of the colors mean. At bottom gun, you'll learn them all. Be under no illusion, gentlemen, we are on the front line of a culture war. You see your color on that flag, pilot?
Yes, sir.
And they tell me you're a bisexual. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
I like that in a pilot.
Oh, shit. I know what Tom's going to say. Raptor says, I still believe there is humans way before 16,000 years ago and they were very intelligent. Yep. It's exactly what I'm saying. Humans, we've been around, our species been around and perfectly intelligent for hundreds of thousands of years. We weren't just dicking around the whole time. We did some big shit. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, you showed Tom's incredibly muscular body all over the internet. Indeed, I did. I'm sure your cup did runneth over. Donald says, oh, my. I stole that from the quartering. He does like some kind of, he does clips, funny clips like that at the beginning of a lot of his videos. And I had to grab that one. That was pretty funny. All right, let's look at this. Okay, so I think we got enough of my background. Why, why this Sewid thing, kind of hits home for me a little bit because people are getting him shit. He didn't get any. I don't think he got a. I don't know how much he really was harmed other than bad press, but hold on a second. So this is on the National Post. News in Canada. First Nations group blasts tour guide for opening burial boxes and revealing ancestors' skeletal remains. This was published September 21st, 2014. So yeah, it's 10-year-old. 10 years old. So there he is, so he's a name, you're going to hear around these kind of Bigfoot stuff. If you're anybody out there that's new to the Bigfoot community. So that's who he is, and this is what this whole deal is about, okay? The article reads, the actions of an Aboriginal tourism operator in British Columbia who gave some travelers access to ancient burial boxes, including revealing the skeletal remains inside, have been condemned by his fellow First Nations. Where's your editor? I think you want to say fellow First Nations people, maybe? It seems like a weird way to phrase that there. A photo surfaced earlier this year on the internet of Tom Sewid and Aboriginal Adventures Canada peering into an open burial box with skeletal remains in clear view. A second photo of Sewid dressed in Aboriginal watchman attire shows him standing beside the box that sits atop a large boulder in a heavily forested area. Right, The incident happened last summer on a remote island of the Broughton archipelago between northern Vancouver Island and the BC coast. It set off investigations by the RCMP and the Provincial Ministry of Forests, Lands, and Natural Resources, but no charges or sanctions are expected. Sewid's actions prompted a sharp rebuke from his own First Nation, the Nanwakolas, and he has been relieved of his duties as a watchman. But Sewid said his actions were part of his duties overseeing the remains of his ancestors, and he denied being disrespectful. I was a native watchman, guardian who had to protect those sites, he said in an interview. We make sure none of the kayak or tour companies were bringing clients in to view our ancestors' bones. When asked why he allowed the picture to be taken, Sewid said the photo was meant for a specific use. You're trying to paint me as the bad guy. That picture was taken for one reason and one reason only. It was to be used at the year-end report, he said. Nanwakola's council president, Dallas Smith, said counselors were extremely saddened to learn that images of an open burial box were taken with a First Nations individual standing next to the box. The fact that this incident involved one of our own nation's members is troubling and does not make it any less hurtful or wrong, he said in a news release posted on the council's website. The council cooperated with the ministry and RCMP investigations, and it chastised Sewid. We have made it clear to the individual depicted in the photos that we condemn his involvement in this horrific incident. Hyperbolic much. Sewid said he explicitly told Washington State photographer Katia Palladina not to publish the pictures, and 3 months later he saw the pictures on the internet. I contacted her and said, get the goddamn picture off your blog now. Palladina was accompanied by Andrew Elizaga, who shot video during the encounter. Both Palladino and Elizaga said Sewid told them they could freely shoot pictures and video at the burial site. I asked if we were allowed to photograph, and Tom assured us yes, if it will be used to educate people that you shouldn't go there, Palladina said. He brought us there. We never would go there on our own, she said. Elizaga provided a copy of a video to back up their account. The video shows Sewid lifting a lid off a burial box, revealing human skeletal remains and speaking to the videographer. And what I'm going to share with the people now with your blog is what is inside that box. It is just so that we can stop the curiosity. They know what's in there. They can imagine now. They can look at your blog, Sewid said. I only do this because I want people to stay out of here, Sewid explained. When Sewid was contacted for a second time about his statement on the video, he again denied knowing that the video and pictures would be on the internet. Okay, whatever. Just spin it whatever way you want. I don't care, he said before hanging up. Union of BC Indian Chiefs Vice President Bob Chamberlain was alerted to the matter in April when someone forwarded an internet link to the pictures. He contacted Mounties and the provincial government about the incident. It troubled me to think of why someone, particularly another Aboriginal person, would even think of disturbing our ancestors' human remains, let alone actually doing it. Chamberlain said in an interview, I can't think of anything more pathetic. He just opened a damn box. It isn't like he grabbed a femur and passed it around. Chill the fuck out. And what do you think's happening when archaeologists examine ancient remains? And for that matter, I bet if we were to somehow go back in time and ask the guy whose remains those are, hey, do you mind if we learn from your remains and study your bones? He'd be like, I don't see how this has anything to do with me. I'll be long dead. I don't give a shit what you do. Use it to play fetch with your dog, whatever. It's a bone. It's not me. I'm done with it. You can have it. You know what I mean? If we were to actually go back in time and find the people that they're freaking out about, oh, we're disturbed the remains. He opened the box. What's in the box? Anyway. While First Nations have many different customs, Chamberlain said the one thing they all have in common is a respect for the dead. That's a sacred thing, Chamberlain said. I don't know where he gets his cultural teachings from, but what I saw in those pictures is not consistent with our traditions. The Canadian press was asked not to show the picture with the skeletal remains. A spokesman from the BC Ministry of Forests, Land, and Natural Resources confirmed the matter was investigated. The archaeological branch can confirm there was evidence of sites being disturbed, but the branch did not issue any permits, said Greg Bethel. The location of the site won't be disclosed in order to prevent others from going to the same location, he said. Corporal Don Birch of the Alert Bay RCMP confirmed police concluded an investigation with the potential for charges under the BC Heritage and Conservation Act. No charges were recommended, he said. All right. End of the article. So I think I made it abundantly clear. I don't think he did anything wrong as far as showing people the remains. I think archaeologists should be allowed to study the remains. And I think that whoever those bones belong to gives zero fucks that anyone's looking at his bones. The one thing I think Sewid did kind of wrong here is tried to pass the buck on Palladino, and going back, because telling them one thing and then claiming Palladino claiming that he said something different, trying to cover his own ass. That wasn't cool, but it wasn't murder either, so whatever. I think everybody needs to chill about this. And, I think the Native American tribes need to chill about the remains and stuff. Yeah, you don't want someone going to an archaeological site and purposely disrespect it, because, what's your intent, right? If you're camping on a site and you're not there to try and disturb the bones or something, like trying to purposely disrespect them, I don't see a problem, but if you're looking at bones, it's just whatever. It's just bones. At the end of the day, it really is just bones. But people get all bent over these ancient bones. They want to, like, now I don't know what being relieved as watchman, how much does that really affect Sewid? Maybe it's, it sounds to me like it's just some kind of honorary thing and it doesn't really amount to anything. It's not his fucking career. Try to get this video more properly situated. Yeah, that's a little better. Let me go back. Let me jump back in StreamYard and see how it looks. That's not too bad. Well, I might as well catch up on the chat too while I'm over here. Donald says, "Where'd you find that LOCKBEARD?" Already explained that. Tom Cruise is here, saying exactly what I thought he would say. He's going to sue me. You go ahead, Tom. You bring it, Tom. But hey, I didn't make the video. The Quartering's team, I don't think Jeremy of the Quartering. There's a channel, for those that don't know, there's a really good channel called The Quartering. He doesn't talk paranormal stuff. He talks current events and politics and movies and Stuff like that. He's anti-woke and all that stuff. Anyway, someone on his team probably made that video clip as an intro to his video. So Sue was banned from the native grave area, says Grasshopper. Yeah, they need look. Yeah, so now, all right, they've given him hell. I'm sure he's not going to open up any more boxes and piss everyone off. Let the dude visit the native grave areas. And if anyone has private land in that area, invite him. Like, dude doesn't deserve to be treated like this. Like, yeah, he tried to, but the only reason he tried to throw the chick under the bus is because, people were jacking with him and putting pressure on him. So, not that it was right. I'm just saying, you put him in a position where he was on the defensive, and he made a bad decision, trying to throw her under the bus. But as far as opening the box, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. They need to chill the fuck out. If my bones are ever in a box, feel free to look all you want. Take a bone, make a knife handle out of it. I don't give a fuck. I'm done with it. I don't need it anymore. It's just a bunch of fucking calcium and shit. YouTube removed it. What? Did YouTube remove it? Raptor says, sounds like another form of trying to make money. Miss Lisa's Lockbeard's remains would be fully intact. Imagine the shock. There's Red Creek Research. Says, what's up, Donald? Welcome, Red Creek. Donald says, wait a minute. When I heard about there were artifacts missing. Well, they don't mention that in this article. I don't know. I don't know if there were. Hopefully not, but hopefully he didn't do something like that. But maybe that's just something somebody added to the story to make it worse, because to justify them being overreacting to what he did. I don't know. But this article, that's what they say. Yep. Mr. Lee's going to be nice, he says. Raptor says, I don't know. You two had a beef. No, they don't have no beef. Come on. Ocean Pond says, government is giving First Nation tribes too much power, and they will bowl over anyone that stands in their way. Yep, I am prime example of that. Who knows where I would be today? Yeah, it's amazing. You think back to something that happened to you, and where would you be in life now? I don't know. But I feel like, something was stolen from me and by a Native American tribe. By complete asshole little bitch Karens who called the federal government. This is the government who marched your people, our ancestors, down the Trail of Tears, by the way. And killed a whole bunch of us and stole everything and betrayed every treaty, and they have conquered you, and you called them like good little children. Said, Daddy, federal government, this guy, he's stepping out of line. Will you come do something about it? Let me tell you something. A real Native American is only going to call the federal government to tell them to get the fuck out of here. That's what they're going to do. No, you guys are happy to call them and and work with them, and you just got your hand out for white man's money. You love white man's money, don't you? Yes, you're very greedy. Yeah, you want that money, and you'll fuck your own people over for that money. You do it every goddamn day. And I guarantee you, hey, if there's any Native American people out there, tell this story. Who want to tell the story? I think a lot of them don't want to stir up shit. I say stir up shit because the tribal governments are fucking over their own people every goddamn day. And that's a fact. Because they're corrupt. Governments always attract corrupt people. Corrupt people will do whatever they can to get into government. They will sleep with whoever they need to. They will buy off whoever they need to. They will kill whoever they need to get into positions of power. If you knew how sleazy and evil and nasty most politicians really are, I don't know if you could handle it. I really don't. But yeah, Raptors Red Creek, okay, you're doing good. We don't. Raptor, we don't. You see me here, doing good. Bigfoot and Moore's here. Welcome. Says hello, everyone. Welcome to the chat. I don't know who UH77YUFGTPO is, but that's kind of name that you will see on fake bots often. Says, what do you think of this theory? Pyramids were made from the concrete and they used parabolic magnifying glasses to melt rock. I don't know that that's true or not. I think that there were, but I don't. I'll say this. I think it's very, very unlikely that that's what happened. I'll say that. But I don't want to dive too deep into that right now. Now that's a name. Yeah. Yeah. You need to come up with a name that's, something that's unique and memorable, not too long. A lot of people, they mess up. They make a name that's too long. Short, sweet, to the point. Lockbeard, Mr. Lee 3PO. It's a little, it's memorable. I mean, no one's got that name. Try to think of something unique, but a string of letters and numbers like that. That's not, there's 1,000 of those, and yeah, so. Red Creek says power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Yep. And if you're someone who can get into power and because you want to do the right thing with that power, they'll off you. They'll JFK your ass. The CIA who did kill JFK, they will fucking kill your ass. All right, let me see if I can get this video zoomed in a little closer. Yep. There we go. Boom.
For many years, I've been the native watchman up in this area. I know this area like the back of my hand. I've lived here most of my adult life, and I know where the kayak campsites are. And this one here on Compton Island is our Indian reserve. We're building these cabins behind me that look like traditional native style big houses, otherwise known as the longhouse. We'll have extensions put on the sides, and we're going to paint native killer whale designs and salmon designs on all 5 cabins we're building here, right out in the the edge of it to see these humpback whales that I call damn humpback whales because they keep me awake all night. They're breaching, slapping, and blowing. And of course, all day long, they're out there. And then we get those orcas back and forth continually. But the best part is for avid kayakers, we are at the gateway to that mecca for kayakers called Broughton Archipelago. A labyrinth of islands with ancient native villages, fallen totem poles, big house remains, pictographs that are ancient paintings on the rock walls, and what people are just starting to understand about at low tide, being able to see the lochiwe, the clam gardens that our people have had here for thousands of years. And then, of course, there's just supernatural British Columbia. All the animals, you know, we have an eagle up here that we just throw fish on the beach and call her in, and she comes in and eats the fish. Of all the watchman programs throughout coastal British Columbia, we offer you one of the best. And the reason for that is because for almost 3 decades, I've been listening to you, the kayaker. I've been asking you those questions. What do you expect? What would you like to see? How could I offer a better service? And it's only by that positive dialogue and communication that a watchman program is able to build something that avid kayakers and all explorers surely enjoy totally. And that's what we're here to deliver. We're on the sidelines with VHF and cell phone 24/7. We're there for you. If someone should...
So, does anyone feel like he intended to disrespect the remains? You know, if that was your first exposure to video of this man, do you feel like he meant to disrespect the remains? You know, because I think his intention is important. Someone goes in there and has, you know, intends to, I don't know what anyone would do. You know, I guess if you went into an archaeological site and vandalized it somehow or whatever, it's something totally different than we're just going to look. You know, we're interested in this, we're going to look. And that's all they did. I mean, he gave his reasons, and then that changed later because they were messing with him, and he was, you know, he had a unfortunate response that, you know, but I don't think this man meant any harm opening that box. Killer bear claw necklace, yeah. Yeah, that's a little over the top, that necklace right there. Oops, skip the grasshopper here. The guy is a scammer trying to boost his name in tourism for his own profit. Now that may very well be 100% true. Because, you know, do we know for sure anything here? I mean, really, no. But he at least sounds like he's authentic. But it could be an act. It could just be what Grasshopper's saying here. He's just a scammer. I mean, even if he is a scammer, is he a real Native American, right? I mean, using your culture to make money, I mean, is that horrible? Because everybody's going to make money, right? Everybody's got to make money. And if you can make money doing something you enjoy, that's better, you know. I mean, think about, well, a lot of athletes, you know, that the few that make it to the top, you know, they enjoy playing their game and they can make money playing their game. They make too damn much money playing their game, but still. Jimmy Houston, you know, that dude, I think he likes fishing. Or liked fishing. I think he liked fishing. I don't know if he still fishes at all, or is he even alive? He might be dead by now. I don't know. I have a feeling that chili bowl would reflect death. I saw him one time when I was fishing on Horseshoe Bend. I was bank fishing on Horseshoe Bend on the Illinois River, just above 10 Killer Lake. And we have these bass, they we call sand bass, and they, whenever it's time to spawn, they run up the river. So, and you hit there, you hit there at the right time when they're running, you catch a whole bunch of sand bass. Well, they weren't, I don't know. I missed it I don't know if I was before or after anyway. But apparently Jimmy Houston was out there trying to get in on that sand bass run on his boat, and he has cameras and I don't give a fuck. One guy's that guy. He's the same as any other guy fishing out there, as far as I'm concerned. But man, you could spot that blonde chili bowl for a mile, man. You can't mistake it. You look out. You might not be able to make out anyone on any boat out there. But man, that blonde ass chili bowl stand out like that's Jimmy. There he is. Anyway, took ourselves a little detour. Grasshopper says, whoops, already did that one. Raptor says, well, it doesn't sound like I was too far off. They're doing it for the money. Have people come and stay there like a bed and breakfast for a certain amount. Yeah. I mean, but really, what's wrong with that? I mean, it's funny. It's weird. Like, a lot of people, I think, are catching hell for making money. They're performing a legit service, though, right? People want to come and experience things there. Well, that's a legit service. I mean, arguably, you could say those Bigfoot tour guides types, that they're taking people out, and every hoot and holler, every creek and knock in the woods, and the people come out there, they want to experience it. They want to believe that Bigfoot's there. Now, it may be all bullshit, and then of course we can sit over here and point out, so like, yeah, these guys are bullshit. But I think we still have to respect the grift. I mean, look, it's a legit business relationship, right? You got what's that dude? Shit, I forget his name now. He's a member of my tribe down here, southeast Oklahoma, somewhere. And he's the one. He believed the Bigfoot were connected to freaking Nephilim or some bullshit. I don't know. Anyway, but the guy who was taking people. I can't remember his name right now. He was one like $500 or something to take people out or whatnot, and of course we made fun of him and called bullshit on he was full of shit. But it doesn't matter though, ultimately, because he offered a service, and then these people over here are willing to pay for that service, and that's a honest business relationship to some extent, other than he's full of shit about Bigfoot. But the best thing we can do is just try to tell people, say, look, this guy's full of shit. He thinks Bigfoot or Nephilim or some dumb shit. And that's some bullshit, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't begrudge them, making their money where they can. But there's a point where if you're making money and it's harmful to people, then we gotta talk, about that. But I don't know. Witch doctor's necklace, maybe. I don't think they would call it that in their culture, though. Sounds like it. Dogman teeth. Oh, shit. Why aren't they dragon claws? Doesn't sound authentic to me. You don't think he sounds authentic? You think he's completely full of shit? You think he's completely full of shit? He's hardcore grifting. Bigfoot Moore says, I've scuba dived Lake Tenkiller many times. Scuba diving is not something Lockbeard will probably ever do, I don't think. I have a hard enough time breathing as it is. Because my lungs are kind of bad. But, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, people scuba dive there. And the only thing I ever used it for was a little bit of fishing, hanging out, camping a little bit. But I mainly stayed up on the Illinois River. Had a pretty good accessible spot that I hung out quite a bit. One semester at college, because it's up in Tahlequah where I went to college. One semester I kind of pretty much checked out of all my classes but one, and then I went down. I pretty much hung out at the river all the time, building big ass bonfires and just swimming and talking to the Sasquatches. And okay, I don't know. There may have been Sasquatches out there. I didn't see them, but it'd be a good place for them. There's some pretty dense wooded areas around, and lots of mussels in the river. Although their numbers are going down because there's too much nutrient load in the river. From a lot of people only blame the chicken operations, and they are a big part. They're probably the biggest part, but it's also people's sewer systems that are out that aren't people sometimes just dumping straight out sewage directly into a creek somewhere that goes into the river or the lake. Municipal wastewater treatment plants, even though they're supposed to clean it up mostly, they don't always. I gave Seneca, Missouri, as an example. Their water was so out of compliance you could see it very well. It looked like green paint pouring into Lost Creek, which flows into Great Lake. I saw it. I took samples. We sent it to the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality. Nothing fucking happened because the town is on the Missouri side mostly. The wastewater treatment plant is on the Oklahoma side. So you have this jurisdictional bullshit. Anyway, it should be a real simple thing. You go down there and say, look, somebody needs to fix this shit. And it really needed to be the casino, because the casino brought a lot of people to the town. But then there's the argument. I don't know. I don't speak for Seneca. Anyway, there was this whole issue. Who's going to pay for the upgrade to the wastewater treatment plant to handle the additional load? And the city wanted the casino to do it. And the casino was like, fuck you. Somebody, look, here's my thought about the casino there. That tribe, Native Americans, we're supposed to care about the land and how it's treated, right? You're getting handed millions and millions of dollars just handed to you by the federal government. And the tribes have a corner on the market of casinos in Oklahoma. Nobody can compete with you. Otherwise, tribal casinos wouldn't last very long. That's the only reason. Let's be real. That's the only reason tribal casinos are surviving, because the big dogs would come in if Oklahoma allowed anyone else to have casinos. And it's a racist as hell policy, to be honest. But that's what the rules are. And so the tribe's making bank off these casinos too. They are cleaning the hell up. So is it going to hurt them to spend some of that money for an upgrade on the town's wastewater treatment plant and actually show that you give a shit about the land? more than you care about this. Who's going to pay for this? Look, you either believe this is your land or it's not your land. If it's your land, take care of it. You know, I don't know. It's been a long time since I lived up there and worked up there, and screw those guys. JoJo's going to bed. Have a good evening, JoJo says Bigfoot and more, or Raptor. I mean, hair helmet. Yeah, he had hair. Well, it's just, man, that hair, man. You can't mistake it. It shines on the lake, man. If next Christmas, Santa Claus is like, "Where's Rudolph?" Somebody said, Rudolph got shot by a hunter. Oh shit, we're fucked. Santa's gonna be like, "Well, who can we get to replace Rudolph?" They're gonna go get Jimmy Houston. Jerry Williams, yeah, there he goes. Yeah, Jerry Williams is absolutely completely full of shit. Okay, he's sorry, he's a fellow, he's the same tribe as me, but he's full of shit. Mr. Lee says, yeah, Jerry Williams. I don't mind Jerry. We always got along. Bigfoot Moore says, been 90 foot down off Crappie Point by the dam. Yep. That's a nope for Lockbeard. Nope. Nope. You have fun down there. Yeah, Jerry disappeared. He probably got, I think we ran him off. But he wasn't a young guy either, so he might have, I don't know, he might have checked off too. The native testimony on how to hunt on, look, you don't know for a fact that that's native testimony. The only thing you see on that channel is dude reading something. Like, he could have wrote all that stuff, or some random yahoo could have wrote. You don't know that that's actual native testimony. All he does is read emails. He doesn't vet anything, so you don't know if it's some crazy person or a liar of some kind or hoaxer. You just don't know. He could make it all up. You listen to Sasquatch Theory, Bigfoot Society mainly, and Dogman Encounters on Friday. A lot of bullshit on them channels. I mean, everybody here, most people here pretty much are fairly certain, or most people that watch me, because there's no plausibility whatsoever in the whole Dogman thing. It's bullshit. Dogman's bullshit. I hate to tell you, it's bullshit. Ocean Pond says 90 feet down for freshwater is deep for, yeah. It's probably the deepest point in that lake, I think. Isn't that, he'll probably tell you, it's that lake don't get much deeper than that. That's for sure. So I'm trying to remember, Grand Lake, I think the deepest point's like 130 feet, and it's a big freaking lake. Stop watching fish all your ages ago. Yeah. Now that dude's 100% grift, right? Because he's not actually doing it. All he's doing is reading emails and he's playing on people's outrage that all this stuff is being covered up. But like, he just accepts whatever people write. I mean, well, I'm not gonna say he jumps wholeheartedly on their bandwagons, but he doesn't vet anything. He doesn't, he's just like, because he wants people to keep writing him emails, so he never runs out of content. And so he lets everybody have equal time talking, even no matter how ridiculous their bullshit is. Raptor says, Mr. Lee, that's the truth. He didn't have anything. He was just making up stories. A lot of channels are doing it for now for the money. Which I'm again, grift all you want, but don't cry when we call you out for grifting off of bullshit, off of lies and bullshit. We call you out. Bigfoot says the dark. It's dark and cold that deep in Tin Killer. Yeah. Yeah. The old timers up there, since I was up, I mean, I didn't spend a lot of that much time on the lake itself. Like I said, usually I stayed to the river. And the old timer, and I was there, well, between, I was up in them parts between 1994 and 2005. 94 to 2005. And damn, that's a long fucking time. I mean, I left out of there for a couple of years and came back, and anyway, but yeah. Anyway, the old timers, you talked about how the river used to be crystal clear water, and it, by the time I was there, it wasn't. The water was brown. There was algae growing on the rocks, and it just wasn't a clear, clean stream anymore. I really wish we could get rid of all the nutrient pollution. I mean, what part thing you can do to help everybody out there? Stop eating chicken. Stop it. Chicken is an inferior meat. It's not the appropriate meat for humans, really. It's an okay substitute. I mean, I still eat it on a rare occasion, but the reality is humans are designed to eat fatty red meat animals, big animals, mastodons, woolly mammoths. Those are two different species. Mastodons, woolly mammoths, and there was another one that was a big one. And then there's these big camels, and the bison were way bigger 13,000 years ago. They got shrunk down because of, anyway, that's the whole thing. And then a bunch of other gigantic animals that we ate. We specialize. That's what those gigantic spear points were about, is we got really good at killing big shit. We were big game hunters for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. We were not eating yard birds. We were not eating chickens. The only proper use for chickens at this point, I would say, is for the eggs, specifically the egg yolks, because the egg yolk, the nutrition in the egg yolk is somewhat of a substitute for the nutrition in animal brain, because humans are supposed to eat animal brain on a regular basis. And we just kind of don't anymore. And most people are grossed out by the whole idea. So that's why people want to, people are perfectly fine with eating eggs every morning, but they complain about having burgers 2 nights in a row or something like that. Oh, we had this last night. I want something different. But they never complain about having eggs every morning at breakfast, or bacon. And what's good about bacon? Bacon's got a lot of fat in it. We really, really crave the fat. And it's just the way that a lot of people were able to get some of that fat in there. You need lots of fat. One of my coworkers was, because I got some European butter. I forget the brand name. And I was gnawing on it because my my burger patties were too fucking lean. I need some fat. I wanted to eat some fat. So I was gnawing on a stick of butter. Well, it was a wide stick. It was, it was like 2 sticks together is what this was. Had a little bit of a taste of almost like cream cheese to it. It was interesting. I never had that one before. Anyway, went on all kinds of tangents here. Anyway, stop eating the damn chicken. So there's way less chicken houses. Eat beef. These chicken houses, Mr. Lee probably, I don't know if Mr. Lee be familiar with this shit. We have these big ass, stinky ass, long chicken house operations, and they suck ass. And I don't want to be anywhere near them. They're stupid. I want them to go away. The only thing that where chickens should be is in people's backyard laying a few eggs. Get you a handful of hens, lay some eggs. Eat eggs. Because big egg operations are just as stupid. It's so freaking easy to have a few hens. They don't take up much space. You put a dog out there to guard them, it'll be fine. Don't be afraid to go out and grab a rat snake out of there every so often. But I could tell you from experience, if you take a rat snake 1 mile away from your chicken house, he will be back within a day. You got to take him further away. Don't kill him unless you're going to eat him. I guess if you eat him, it's fine. But, you know, he's just doing what rat snakes do, what rat snakes do. Play it, going to play. Let's see here. Patty says, I thought of being deep underwater. Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like the idea of being confined down there. I don't like it. It's not for me either. That's for sure. Mr. Lee says, Dave, you don't get claustrophobia? Not sure. Deepest point, 90 feet is where I stopped. I don't think it's much deeper than that, though, in Tin Killer, but claustrophobic, but diving doesn't bother me. Patty, hello. Yep, welcome, Patty. I saw you on Paranormal Highway. Your cat's cool. Cat's cool, man. 10,000 seconds of Dogman testimonies aren't 10,000 aren't bullshit. That's inundating. No, it's not. No, it's not. Must be aliens splicing these cryptids. What in the fuck, man? Are you serious? All right, you gotta prove. There's so many things you gotta prove. Holy shit. Like aliens, really? It must be aliens splicing. You mean you're not going along with the idea that the government's splicing up some cryptids? Seriously? You want to believe in this shit so badly with no evidence whatsoever. Look, all these people are just seeing wolves and shit probably, or their minds are running away with them, or it's just pareidolia. Look, find one piece of legit evidence. Like, now forget your testimonials. I mean, every one of those could be made up. Did you actually see something yourself? Because, you know, all those people, you know, you missed your Volta bullshit over there. Volta Nightmares, that lying ass fuck. He's full of shit. And other people, it's just mistaken. They were just mistaken. They thought they saw Dogman. They just thought they saw Dogman. Find some legit proof, because there's no plausibility for the existence of such animals. So yeah, if something like that exists, it would almost certainly have to be invented by somebody, created. And I don't think anybody's created anything like that, and nobody's proven or shown any proof of that. So until you come up with something better than the 10,000 liars' testimonies, get out of here with that Dogman shit, man. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news and to take the magic out of your world, but there is no evidence of and no plausibility behind the claims of Dogman or werewolves or whatever the hell. Don't mind the breast, makes me a bit bloated though. Chicken breast, yeah, chicken breast is like if I eat chicken, I want the legs and the thighs, you know, darker meat. But usually it's just not that satisfying. I need beef. Fatty beef. Mr. Lee's alive, yeah. Donald was worried. Yeah, Donald was worried about you, Mr. Lee. It was quite touching. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, yes, the battery farms. We have those too, do you? Yeah, those suck ass. They're stupid. Put a cow in a field. Look, put a cow in a field and put you a few hens in your backyard, and you're fed for a year. For each person, like one steer will easily feed a person, I think. Well, I don't know how many pounds is in there, because I can live off of 375, maybe 375 pounds of fatty beef a year will keep me fine, and I'm a grown man. I might need a little bit more. It depends. Some men will need a lot more, but that's half of what your average person eats, and that's an average including women and children in the United States. That's half of the weight of the food that is eaten by your average citizen, because they're eating a bunch of carbohydrates that causes excessive hunger. They're getting exposed to a bunch of toxins that causes them to need more nutrient resources to fight the toxins from the plants that they're eating, and also the anti-nutrients in the plants are preventing them from absorbing the nutrients that they are getting, which is not enough, but they're not. So they're actually getting less nutrients than they think. You can't just read the label, say, "Oh, there's this many milligrams of this in there, and I'm getting it." No, not necessarily, because plant anti-nutrients prevent you from absorbing certain things. So you end up, what the end result is your average American eats twice as much food as I do if I stick to a carnivore diet by weight. That don't make any sense, because half of those are women and children. They're little people compared to me. I'm 230 pounds of a beast over here. And I'm not, not my buddy who's 450 pounds, but that's a beast. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, Raptor says, all I can say is my grandparents were all country people, and they lived to be over 100, eating chicken, pork, cows, vegetation, potatoes, all that. Just don't smoke and drink, and you'll live longer. Yeah, it helps. Yeah, 100 years isn't that impressive, really. Eating, because they're not eating processed foods and all that stuff. There's a lot more to the equation, but the reality is because people think, oh, they lived over 100, and that proves that it was perfect. No, if they ate the way I'm telling you, they would have had another 20 years, and they would have been less disease, because let's be real, they probably had diabetes and heart disease and stuff like that. They had diseases, and they had limited mobility. They were degraded as they got older. All that is reduced if you stick to 100% fatty carnivorous diet, fatty red meat diet primarily. Some seafood. Some seafood is good. Put some real butter on it, and boom, that's some good stuff, right? That's good for you. But make sure you're getting plenty of iodine. Make sure you're getting your salt. Make sure you're getting enough animal fat. You're going to be in good shape. Now, Ken Wheeler, he won't eat seafood. Don't even try. He thinks shrimp are ocean cockroaches. Michelin says you can tell the really cheap chicken in the supermarket has blackened legs from sitting in their own urine. Bigfoot and More says chickens from corporate farms are packed full of antibiotics and maybe even worse. Yeah, who knows what they put in it? Well, and they breed them. They have there's like 4 different lines. As I recall, they breed these 2 together to produce this offspring, and they breed these other 2 together over here. These other 2 different breeds together to produce this offspring. So you got these 2 mixed breeds, and then they breed those 2 mixed breeds together to make the chicken that they want, that grows like in 6 fucking weeks and it's too weak to stand hardly and stuff like that. Like these animals cannot. They cannot survive in the wild. They just can't. You put a typical chicken in those kind of operations out in the wild, I mean, it's going to get pecked off really quick just because they're white, let alone the weakness. And they're bred to get all this meat on them fast and grow fast, but they don't have the strength. They maybe they never flew, they haven't, they never flown, or probably haven't flown. Not properly, anyway. Anyway, it's ridiculous. I mean, I recommend people stop eating chicken if you want optimal health. Eat only fatty red meat. Get you some cow and some lamb and stuff like that. Maybe you can get something a little more different, some camel or whatever, some bison. If you can get the animal brain and eat it. And marrow, get the marrow too. Get the brain and marrow. If you haven't incorporated brain and marrow, if you have the option, take it. Take it. You have no idea. You have no idea. You'll feel fantastic. Grasshopper says chickens are being bred with huge breasts and can't walk. Yeah, basically that's the deal. Seen Bigfoot and Dogman had the zapping, missing time, anti-gravity effects, time, but I felt no weightlessness, infrasound, can't affect time that I know of. Oh, dude, man, you got what kind of drugs you on? Because you thinking, I can't even. I'm not even going to try and unpack this right now. I got some other stuff to go to. I'm going to leave Sewid behind. I was going to play some more video of him, but I think we've said enough about him. Sent to China to be processed and sent back here. Who the fuck needs to world WTO needs to go. Who? Oh man, dog man. Grasshopper says Dogman chat is a waste of time here. Don't bother. Yeah, it's bullshit. Bigfoot Moore says anti-gravity, time, stealing dogmen are the worst. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy because I am totally down with some anti-gravity technology, but then people want to show up with anti-gravity dogman. What am I going to do with these people? Get rid of the Sewid pick. It's creepy. Oh, man. Well, let me catch up and chat first. No such thing as Dogman. It was all made up on YouTube from some guy. Yep, some fucking guy. Sea bugs. Yeah, a lot of people consider it just sea bugs. They don't want to eat them. I, on the other hand, love to have some shrimp every so often. It's a crab. Just looked up max death of the 10 killer. It's max at 165. Are you serious? No way. Holy shit. No way. I didn't think it got that deep. Mr. Lee says, I don't mind prawns and shrimp. They add a lot of flavor. Yeah. Give me some shrimp swimming in butter. I'm okay. But again, like I told you, like there's a bunch of things about our design that indicates that we're a coastal marine semi-aquatic organism. And I guarantee you, we ate us some shrimp. We ate us some clams and oysters, and we were spearing fish. We got the use of the spear, because this is another level of my hypothesis of human development, is that our use of the spear started with the fishing, and then one day somebody said, hey, maybe we can do this out of the water. Maybe we can go spear some shit up here on land. And next thing you know, we're killing elephants. Be sure and put Earl Salisbury, a.k.a. Lockbeard, a.k.a. Achaeos, Emperor Achaeos Salisbury, ruler of the known universe, came up with this hypothesis because it makes sense. Makes sense. All right, let me see. Let me jump over here. Daily Mail. Daily Mail, you're pissing me off. All right. Here we go. Boom. All right, I'm getting that message about my audio again. I assume you guys can still hear me, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to play a video sound. Like I was going to play some video here in a little bit, but I might not be able to if I can't figure out what the hell is wrong with the sound. It says your browser has lost connection to your screen share audio. Try sharing your screen again. Restart your browser. I don't want to. If I have to restart my browser, I have to restart this whole stream and every. Well, I mean, I can come back to the stream, but still, it's a whole thing. Restart your browser if this continues to be a problem. All right, I'm just getting out of that stupid thing. Don't forget the Imperial van. Yep, take the Imperial van. 77 says Dave Fritz was the first testimony I heard on Brenton Sewid. I don't know if exorcism works on cryptids. Been a lot of suspicious deaths of Christians with these things. Claudia Ackley. Are you fucking kidding me? Scott Carpenter. Get the fuck out of here. Who the fuck? Did someone create an AI bot specifically to spew all the bullshit? Are you serious right now? Raptor, you handle that. Handle that. Play it. We'll let you know. Just keep an eye on that chat. Yeah. Well, right now we're not to any video right now. There is one later, but so this is on Daily Mail. 50 Shades of the Greys. New book explores strange sexual encounters with UFOs. What in the hell? A new book explores the disturbing stories of sexual encounters with aliens and UFOs. Stories about these wild interactions have been around since the 50s, and in the UFO files, the psychology behind them is explored. In an interview with Daily Mail, Nigel Watson, a contributor to this bookazine, thinks they might stem from our subconscious and might form part of a longer tradition of supernatural encounters stretching back for many centuries. But the book points out that many of these encounters were remembered with the help of hypnotists who may have planted the memories there. Reports of encounters with supernatural entities are also much older than people realize. Mr. Watson said, whatever the genesis of such reports, we have to consider that people have reported sexual contact with all manner of supernatural beings throughout history. Either the aliens have been conducting their beastly experiments for millennia, or such stories meet deep-seated socio-psychological needs. Until any solid medical evidence is obtained or any hybrid children turn up, the latter hypothesis seems more likely. Antonio Villas, Boas. One of the very first alien abduction stories from Brazilian farmer Antonio Boas also involved a strong sexual element. In October 57, Boas was hauled aboard a star-like UFO, which landed in front of him before being experimented on and covered in a mysterious gel. And I'm going to choose to believe that the proper name for that mysterious gel is gender fluid. Boas, 23, was then seduced by a female alien who was blonde-haired and blue-eyed, and who he later claimed kept a sample of his sperm. But he said some of the growls that came from her at certain times nearly spoiled everything, as it gave the disagreeable impression of lying with an animal. Researchers have since suggested that Boas used details from previous Brazilian news stories and was a devotee of UFO author and alleged contactee is that Jorge or Georges Adamski? But Boas never recanted his story until his death in 1991. Betty and Barney Hill. Boas's story remained relatively low profile until the abduction and alleged sexual assault of Barney Hill made headlines around the world. Betty and Barney Hill's 1961 experience became the de facto first alien abduction story, with the couple encountering a strange light on the road in New Hampshire's White Mountains. I believe that's didn't that happen like directly in your backyard, Donald? Like right out your window? The couple couldn't remember some of the drive, and their watches had stopped working, but worse was in store for Barney. He claimed that a cup-like device was placed over his genitals before another cylindrical device was inserted into his anus, and in both cases, samples were taken. Psychiatrist and hypnotist Benjamin Simon helped the couple to remember their experience. A Freudian, he suggested that it might indicate latent homosexuality. Is anyone surprised that a Freudian psychiatrist might suggest some weird sexual thing about this encounter rather than they just took a shit and urine sample? Maybe they just took a piss and shit sample. You know, why is it? It doesn't have to be sexual. Okay. Gabriella Versace. In October 73, Gabriella was driving around near the small village of Langford, Budville, near Somerset, England, which I believe is right outside Mr. Lee's window. I'm not sure, but I think it is. Versace's car went dead, and she came out to investigate before being pushed to the ground by a dark metallic robot and fainting. She woke up inside a circular room, naked and strapped to a table. She claimed a male humanoid gazed at her without visible emotion before pressing a pin-like device against her and R-wording her. R-wording her. YouTube don't like that word, so I'll censor it today. She had a pregnancy test and it was negative, but her account was all her own rather than being recounted under hypnosis. Ed Duvall was hypnotized in 1986 by UFO researcher Bud Hopkins. He reported on an abduction he remembered in the early 60s where a violent attempt to take a sperm sample using a suction device left him humiliated. Duvall said they take what they want when they want it, regardless of anything. They don't seem to care how we feel. But later, he was approached by a female alien who Duvall recalled was well endowed. She definitely had memories. For those who don't know, memories is referring to mammary glands, which is tits. It's fucking tits. After intercourse, the gray aliens took a sperm sample, which they kept in a bottle. Of course, as you would, right? Pamela Stonebrook, Los Angeles-based jazz singer Pamela Stonebrook, billed herself as the intergalactic diva long before her alleged alien encounters. She said of the moniker, oddly now, it kind of works. She has since described multiple sexual encounters with aliens and with creatures who were seemingly alien-human hybrids. She said, my first sexual encounter was so intense and enjoyable. I awoke from my sleep to find myself making love to what appeared to be a Greek god. But the sex was very intense. The next time I opened my eyes, he had transformed into a reptilian entity with scaly, snake-like skin. And it was then I realized I was making love to a shape-shifting alien. There's Mr. Lee's reptilians right there. Some comments down here. No Regrets says, I couldn't help it. He took me out to a nice dinner and movie, plus drove a luxury convertible spaceship. I thought it was love. Jesse Stone says, what about the missing who never returned? Well, clearly they either didn't survive the breeding process or they got married to the alien and they stayed there. They settled on Mars. Yeah, the response says, Son of the Wave says they liked it so much they stayed. All right, let me jump back on StreamYard here. See how far behind in chat I am now. Raptor says that Lock, I can't see that person in chat. Well, you're better off. Again, they're a troll. They're just trolling. They're so full of shit. Mr. Lee says the implants are always behind the right ear, so I heard. Icon says, no, dude, the mysterious gel was anal ease. Icon's here. He says, Halito Achaeos, Halito, howdy, chat. Welcome, Icon. Listening while gardening. Mr. Lee says, Whitney Streeb's account of alien abduction is credible to me. I read his books too. Yep. Icon says, not surprised. Freud secretly has a boner for his mother, and he projected his sexual frustration onto his observations. Exactly. And this is what I talked about with, because you spent, like most people, they go to college, it's fast and they're in and they're out, right? They don't really, there's certain things they don't really start to see. Being on the college campus for a total of 11 years, I started to see certain patterns and things and understand certain things that most of these students were completely oblivious about. And one of those things that I noticed was psychiatry and psychology majors almost always are a little cuckoo. So I think that their interest in the subject has to do with the fact that they're kind of trying to figure out what the hell's wrong with them. You know, that's why they have an interest in such a high interest in psychiatry and psychology that they want to be a major in it. Somerset is a hub for UFO activity, Mr. Lee says. Gotta see you later, Bigfoot and more. Yeah, have a good one. Don't be a stranger. Yep, don't be a stranger. Tom Cruise is a reptilian, Mr. Lee says. Shapeshifter, don't you think? Hybrid reptilians have the ability to shapeshift also. Timmy Boy is here. Welcome. Where the hell have you been, Mr. Lee? He's been slacking off, man. All right. Apaches go public with Bigfoot sightings. Dang, headline won't fit on the screen, but whatever. Footprints in the mud, tufts of hair on a fence, ear-piercing screeches in the night. These are only fragments of the stories now coming from the White Mountains of eastern Arizona. For years, the White Mountain Apache Nation has kept the secret within tribal boundaries. We're not prone to easily talk to outsiders, said the spokeswoman, Colette Altaha. But there have been more sightings than ever before. It cannot be ignored any longer. It is a creature the world knows as Bigfoot. No one's had a negative encounter with it, said Marjorie Grimes, who lives in Whitewater, the primary town on the reservation. Grimes is one of the many who claims to have seen the creature over the last 25 years. Her first sightings was in 1982. Her most recent was in the summer of 2004, driving home from the town of Sewid. She becomes more animated as the memory comes forth. It was all black and it was tall. The way it walked, it was taking big strides. I put on the brakes and raced back and looked between the two trees where it was, and it was gone. Grimes' son, Francis, has a story. Their neighbor, Cecil Hendricks, has a story. Even police officers have had strange encounters. Officer Catherine Montoya has no relation to Inigo Montoya, I don't think, has seen it twice. On a recent Monday night, dozens of people called into the tribe's radio station, KNNB, to talk about what they'd seen. Others came in person. The newsroom was there. So was Tom Biscardi and crew from Searching for Bigfoot. Yeah, you guys need to run. You need to run him off. Anyway, the California-based team has crisscrossed the country pursuing reports of the mythic animal. New York, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Texas, Arizona have been hotspots this year. Biscardi said the Apache land is an untapped resource for investigators. There are way too many reports coming out of here of seeing this creature. My God, people better start listening to and coming to this thing because it's happening. His ultimate goal is to capture a Bigfoot creature, study it for 90 days, and return it to the wild. What the fuck? No, you can't capture a human being. For anyone that's not familiar with my channel watching this in the future, I do not think it's appropriate to terminate or harass or capture a Bigfoot, because I think, and I've explained why I think this before, I think that they are humans, but they're just a big hairy race of people. So we got black people, we got white people, we got some other races, you know, some Australian Aborigines, some Asians, and we got Bigfoot. Okay, you can't You just can't take Bigfoot and throw him in the cage because he's a person. He has rights. At least you should believe that he has rights, that they have rights. Coming out here seeing this. See where was I at? 90 Days Return to the Wild. 2 nights in a row, Biscardi and crew strapped motion-activated cameras with night vision lenses under the trees in the nearby woods. They set up listening devices and made noises, which he claims lure the creatures into view. All their efforts yielded only one result. No mystery beast, no mystery screams. Instead, there is relief. Colette Altaha said the people on the reservation are beginning to support the decision to go public because of people doubting them before they never came forward. But now, with the help of Tom Biscardi and his team, they've come out here and our people are beginning to open up. Big mistake. Not with Tom Biscardi. Not with Tom Biscardi. And people are going to think, I bet when I go back over to the chat, I'm going to see that Raptor saying, yeah, these people, they're going to try to make money off of Bigfoot tourism. How much you want to bet that that's what Raptor's saying in the chat right now? And he's probably right. Indeed, the decision to let 3TV report this story was a controversial one. On the radio program, one Apache caller said tribal elders were uncomfortable letting the legend be known. Still, Ataha believes it is the right thing to do. I've heard stories from a while back about sightings. I'm not easily persuaded, but with so many of the people coming forward and telling us their stories, there might be something out there that actually exists. Tribal Police Lieutenant Ray Burnett puts it in terms of public safety. A couple of times they've seen this creature looking through the windows. They're scared when they call. As in all alleged sightings of a Bigfoot creature, tangible evidence is scarce. The Patterson film from 1967 is the most often seen video. It shows a tall, hairy figure striding through the woods of the Pacific Northwest. For nearly 40 years, this film's authenticity has been debated. It has never been discredited. In the White Mountains last year, investigators found footprints, several tufts of hair, and other material at the scene of the sighting. Tribal police made plaster casts from the prints and sent hair and plant samples to the Department of Public Safety for analysis in its state-of-the-art crime lab. Test results showed the hair was not human, but animal in origin. Further testing to determine what kind of animal was not done. The Arizona Game and Fish Department does not investigate Bigfoot sightings. Neither does the State Veterinarian's Office, a division of the Arizona Department of Health Services. Perhaps the only organizations that take such reports seriously are Bigfoot hunters such as Biscardi and the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, which nobody freaking trusts, right? Because they censor stories. They don't like the story. Like, if you're going to report stories and sightings, report them all. Just do it. Let us decide whether, okay, that's bullshit or not. We'll decide that. But when you're censoring the stories, you're the bad guy. BFRO, bad guy. So the article continues. The field is not well organized and often manned by amateurs with little or no scientific background. Yeah, that's being nice, actually. Sorry, guys, but I got to say that. Biscardi himself has come under fire in the past for promoting an alleged find that later turned out to be a hoax. He is more careful these days and promises a huge revelation yet to come. It will be something even more fantastic than hundreds of reports of the Apache Bigfoot. Okay, if he's got a huge revelation, then he already knows what it is. If he's promising a revelation, but he hasn't found anything yet, then this means he's planning on hoaxing. Because he can't know that a revelation's coming unless he already has that information, has some kind of proof of some kind. Last paragraph. Back on the reservation, Lieutenant Burnett wants outsiders to realize that the department takes these calls seriously, and so should you. The calls we're getting from people, they weren't hallucinating, they weren't drunks, they weren't people that we know can make hoax calls. They're from real citizens of the Fort Apache Indian Reservation. Yeah, well, just because they're citizens of the Fort Apache Indian Reservation doesn't mean they can't be hoaxers or liars or drunks. Okay, so whatever. I don't know how I feel about the tribe coming out. This is an old article, though. This is an old article, but it's just because we have a little bit of Native American themes. I thought I'd cross it in with the Bigfoot stuff a little bit more, because the Sewid story wasn't really about Bigfoot, right? But ancient remains is definitely, I think, ancient remains are about Bigfoot in the sense that some of those remains that have been written off as humans like us are actually the remains of Bigfoot. Okay. And of course, some people will say, well, those are giants. Those are giants. Well, I'm like, well, they're either giants or they're Bigfoot. You see plenty of skeletons of very hairy animals, and the hair's all gone, but the bones are still there. So don't assume because it's a human-like skeleton of great size that it isn't a Bigfoot. Don't assume it's just a giant is a giant, right? It could be a Bigfoot. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. The next point on my thumbnail was the bear thing. Hold on a second. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that up. Let me catch up in chat real quick. Haven't heard anything about this subject. It's like I especially fell in the themes again because his straw is too short. Playing with Tom and Diddy. Yeah, Diddy's in the news. Icon says, Mr. Monkey is on. Off to check it out. Have fun with Mr. Monkey, man. I'm trying to speed it up and wrap this up pretty fast because Mr. Lee's going to abandon us. Well, no, he's not. He's not going to abandon us. It's Friday night. He's going to hang in. I still want to get off here before I start the fade. I start the fade, get tired, and yeah. Is Donald still here? Maybe. Raptor says, I've been saying this for the past 6 years with all these channels. The subject of Bigfoot means money. Yeah. Well, send your money to Lockbeard, and then maybe if there's adequate funding, we'll do some real scientific investigation on stuff. But the reality is I could go in these mountains behind me here, and I could apply all the science I want. If there's no Sasquatch there, I have a little problem, don't I? I'm not going to find any scientific evidence of Bigfoot. Now, people have sightings in these parts all the time, and I think that one of the really good spots in North America is these mountains right here. But I can't do much but just look around without funding, for the equipment that I need to try and actually get some kind of evidence. I can't afford to get DNA tests done. I can't afford any really good camera equipment, or I can't. So, Raptor says, how come these channels aren't showing any proof of it? And the proof they do show is fake, but they want you to be a member and pay for them every month and everything else. Quit lying to your viewers. Yeah, I hear you, Raptor. You're back. Had to go check on your mother. It's your Friday, my Saturday. Oh, it's Saturday for Mr. Lee. Well, I've gotten so used to doing this on Thursday night. I was thinking Mogs is about to come on, but it's not. Raptor says, no Bigfoot in Arkansas. It was all made up from TV shows in the 70s and 80s. Well, there was a lot of shit made up, but there are local sightings and stuff. So, I mean, people see them. So, and we got some pretty remote areas here, some pretty thick woods. And so I don't see any reason why there couldn't be thousands and thousands of Sasquatch living up in these mountains right now. Oh, yeah. which releases plenty of gold in Oklahoma too. Well, I don't know. Sometime if I can get like time and some money, I feel okay. Spending the money on some gas and going down. I'm not too far from that supposedly gold bearing river, so I might go check it out. I've been down there years ago, but I didn't find anything. All the gold in Oklahoma. Oh, wrong. Yeah. So, Bigfoot sightings are probably just bears. Study finds. Probably just black bears, they're saying. Bears are blamed for a lot of things that aren't their fault. They've been implicated for moonlighting as the Himalayan Yeti. Visitors at a Chinese zoo accuse a sun bear of actually being a human in a bear suit. Grizzly bears' seasonal weight gain is displayed for public judgment. Now, a study published earlier this year in the Journal of Zoology suggests humans are mistaking American black bears for Bigfoot. Its author, data scientist Flo Foxon, who is fond of titling cryptozoological studies with rhyming phrases, the Loch Ness Monster, if it's real, it could be an eel. And if not a fake, what's in the lake? She, I think this is a she, hypothesized that the more black bears there are in a given area, the more likely it is that people will report cryptid sightings. In other words, if Bigfoot is there, it could be a bear. Killing me, Flo. Previous studies have found a link between alleged Bigfoot encounters and black bear populations in the Pacific Northwest, long believed to be Sasquatch's natural habitat. In an expanded analysis, Foxon compared the most recent information for bear populations in 37 U.S. states and 7 Canadian provinces within the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization data set of alleged sightings, adjusting for human populations in natural area to model the correlation for all the U.S. and Canada. All right, you see that word correlation? Well, one, we saw BFRO in there, who's bullshit, whatever. And then we say the word correlation, and everyone's heard this phrase, I hope. Correlation does not equal causation. And how that really applies here is just because there's a bunch of black bears in the area doesn't mean that every time people see a Bigfoot, it's just a black bear. Maybe black bears and Bigfoot just like to live in the same place. You know, what's else in the woods is a lot of squirrels. Does that mean that Bigfoot is farting squirrels? That maybe squirrels are baby Bigfoot or some shit? I don't know. What kind of bullshit can you come up with that? Just because two animals live in the same ecological zone doesn't mean there's any connection between the two at all, other than they live in the same place. So, yes, it could be that people are mistaking black bears for Bigfoot. That could happen, sure. And of course, that could be more likely in areas that have a lot of black bears. But it also could be the case that the two animals just live in the same place. And that's it. The study found that Sasquatch reports were statistically significantly associated with black bear populations. Again, associate, they're saying using the word associated is a little misleading. There is I'm going to say this right now. There is zero association between the black bears and the Bigfoot. This is misleading. All they're showing, and this is real simple. There's a bunch of black bears. People are seeing Bigfoot. That's it. So then they're jumping and saying, basically assuming that that their people are mistaking black bears for Bigfoot, when the actual fact could be that there is a bunch of bears there, and there's a bunch of Bigfoot there. End of story. For every 1,000 bears in the area, Foxon found a 4% increase in the number of Bigfoot sightings across North America. Each Sasquatch report was associated with about 5,000 black bears. Again, they're just living in the same place. Bigfoot might feed on black bears a lot, for all we know. Might be a really significant food source for them. So it's like saying you go to Africa and you see you're looking at, you got herds of zebra and you see some lions there and you think they're the same thing. No, they're not the same thing. You're seeing two different animals. You're seeing the zebra who are there because they're eating the damn grass, and you're seeing the lion that's there because it's eating the damn zebra. End of story. They both live on the grassland. Based on statistical considerations, it is likely that many suppose Sasquatch are really misidentified known forms. Yeah, very many could be. Probably a lot of dogman claimed sightings are just bears, It's understandable that people mistake the native carnivore for the fictitious hominid. Well, you're calling it fictitious, but you don't know that it's fictitious. So that makes your article here a little less, a little less respectable, I guess. Both bear and Sasquatch are thought to stand about 6 feet tall. If the bear is upright on its hind legs, be covered in dark hair or fur, and live in temperate forests, they're not the only pair of frequently confused animals out there. Here's how to differentiate wallabies and kangaroos, leopards and jaguars, rats and mice, and more. Yep. We said his article is kind of a nothing burger. It really is. They didn't prove shit. They jump back on StreamYard here. See what's going on. Mr. Lisa Lockbeard, that would make a great video, especially if you found some gold. Don says, can we see your data on your Fax Raptor? No Bigfoot in Arkansas. Yeah, he doesn't. Well, he's just assuming. He doesn't know there's no Bigfoot in Arkansas. Raptor says, sorry, need to be out west, Washington, Oregon, Northern California, some parts of Canada, above Washington, best place to be. Nope. I'm going to call bullshit on that. I think there's Bigfoot all over Canada, all up and through Mexico, down into Florida, all the way up into Donald Fuller's backyard, and there might even be a few in Mr. Lee's backyard. Because here's the reality. Polar bears sometimes show up in goddamn Great Britain. And bears can swim over there too. So assuming that Bigfoot can't possibly make their way to Great Britain from the mainland, and if you're assuming that there ain't no Bigfoot on the mainland of Europe, you're making some big assumptions. You got to be open to the possibility here. There's a possibility that they are there. And it's reasonable to think that they could get there because these other animals get there, So if a bear can get there, a Bigfoot can get there. I'm going to stick by that one there. That makes sense to me. It's reasonable to think that that's the possibility. So you can't just say there's definitely no Bigfoot in Great Britain. You just can't say that because I think there's definitely a possibility they could get there. Maybe they're not there all the time. Maybe occasionally one just goes over there for whatever reason. Maybe he wants to visit an authentic Irish pub. I don't know. But, yeah. Raptor says, Donald, it's on TV from the 70s documentary. The 90s documentaries, everything from Colorado to Maine with all the made up. Mr. Lee says, Nessie nonsense, another tourist trap. Yeah, probably. Raptor says, Donald, my thoughts, 70s, 80s, 90s, TV shows, everything blew up, and all stories, no real proof, common sense. Donald says, Raptor, give me the names of these documentaries, please, Raptor. The Legend of Boggy Creek says different. Danny Boy says, I bet Bigfoot uses rabbits and squirrels to wipe his ass. I feel sorry for the rabbits and squirrels then. But I suspect Bigfoot doesn't wipe their ass, just like humans in natural conditions don't need to wipe their ass either. Go get adapted to a carnivore diet for a while, and you'll see your ass largely just is clean. You don't. People need to use so much toilet paper because they're eating stuff they're not supposed to be eating, and plants come out and just mess up your ass. That's why you need to use toilet paper. When you're eating a natural diet, you lay turds kind of clean like most animals do. They crap, and then there's not really anything on their ass, right? Well, that's how it's supposed to be. That's the way nature's supposed to work. Gross topic, I know, folks, but bear with me, right? No real evidence, blah blah blah. A road incident. New York State Police was proven made up. Show me the data. Easy, Donald. Raptor says, Donald, you're talking about the same one with the guy and the girl in the car and the thing ran across the road? Donald says, sorry, Team Boy, but I have not heard anyone debunk 3 police that witnessed those phenomena. Mr. Lee says, a lot of unusual animals show up in England, telling you. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm sticking to that. People who say Bigfoot can't possibly get to England, they don't know the facts. And the facts is bears sometimes show up in England, in Great Britain. They had to swim across some water to get there, but they got there. And if a bear can do it, why not Sasquatch? And for that matter, why can't there be Sasquatch population there that's just there all the time? I think it's possible. I mean, Mr. Lee's going to know more than the rest of us because you see how much forested area you got. You know more about how much forested area you got. Now, you probably don't got the vast forest that we have, but I bet you got enough to maintain a population of Sasquatch people. Tim Boy says, I was almost offended, Donald. The facts Raptor speaks of. Raptor don't have any facts to prove that those stories are wrong necessarily. If that's the case, there will be over 10,000 Bigfoot all over the United States, and we have no proof there's even 2. Well, we don't have proof, but even if you get proof that there's 2 of them, you don't really know the numbers. So you don't know that there's 10,000. You don't know that you just don't know. When I talk about numbers, I'm just saying what the possibilities are. I think it's totally possible for 1 million Sasquatch people to exist in the wild and maintain their level of secrecy that they have. Because 1, they're intelligent enough to stay hidden and hide from us. They're that elusive culturally or even instinctually. And they also have the federal government helping them. They got the government helping them hide. So now the government's motives may not be pure, but they're keeping Bigfoot a secret somehow. So for some reason. Miss Lee says I have to wipe my dog's ass now, no lie. Yeah, your dog's old as hell though, isn't it? But also, are you feeding it dog food? Because dog food ain't natural food for dogs. I mean, it's pretty much just cornmeal with some meat flavored juice squirted on it or something. It's not even real food. Give Uncle Bone some thoughts and condolences. Donald says there's a link to the video Donald made for Michael, aka Uncle Bones too. Raptor says, Donald, if you're talking about the police guy with that girl in the car and the subject ran across the road, I believe that was made up. You can use a short person to run across the road when it's dark. Raptor says that Donald, and in dark clothing and the camera is not that focused, even though it's an older video, makes you wonder. That's why I don't want pets. Sorry, Miss Lee, that's why I don't want pets. It hurts more than humans passing. All right. So this is over on Rocky Mountain, Sasquatch. I don't think I see anything here, but they're claiming there's something here. I'm going to skip towards the end of the video. There's some narration at the beginning of this, but we don't need that. We'll just look at what the video is, right? But supposedly during the time of the eclipse, this is when this was taken. The title of the video is Faux Monster in Mountain View, Arkansas, just before the eclipse. And I'm going to have to change my layout for you guys to see this better. Catch up and chat real quick, though. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, my dog eats fresh chicken, eggs, and minced beef. I never feed her commercial dog food. So she just broke down and old. Yeah, really cool thing. Nothing to do with what I'm talking about. All right. Let's look at this video. You tell me, do you see any Bigfoots in this picture, in this video? Now, hold on, I'm going to back this up a little bit. Now, you see on that tree right in the middle, a little bit lower than center, you have those two light spots there. And nobody's claiming those are eyes right now. But if those had shown up in a darker place in the view, they'd be saying, "Oh, those are Bigfoot eyes or something." But see, so you get bright spots like that that might appear to be eyes to people or look like eyes, but they're not eyes. And they got a little map here showing where Mountain View is. It's in the central, north central Arkansas. Anyway, I don't see shit in this video. Do you? Raptor says, I hope you guys have a good night. Donald, not all this stuff about Bigfoot is real. Prove me I'm wrong. I can't post a lot here on YouTube. I can't even get on StreamYard. Donald says, be careful, Lockbeard. This tool likes to hand out false copyright strikes. That's okay. I'll challenge it, and he can kiss my ass. And he'll prove that he's a pussy-ass bitch anyway, who can't handle people analyzing his stupid goddamn video. So, yeah. Yeah. Have I been... Am I being too mean? Or am I being too nice? If you put Bigfoot video on the internet, guess what? People get to look at it and analyze it on their channels. So if you don't like it, too bad. Whatever. Oh, and there's no Bigfoot in this video that we can see. At best, this is inconclusive. I mean, well, that's really the only thing you can say about it is it's inconclusive, because you can't say for sure there's no Bigfoot there, but you also can't say for sure that there is. And I don't see anything that remotely makes me think there's one there. So looks like another BS video to me. Raptors, I guess Raptor's checking out. See you later, Raptor. I guess he's checking out. Oh yeah, I am in a bit. I didn't think I said anything about that yet. But yeah, I'm about to, because I did say something earlier, because starting to get tired and whatnot. Mr. Lee says Rocky Mountain Sasquatch. Yeah, I watched them, one or two of their videos, never liked them. Yeah, there ain't anything in them. Raptor says, I'll stay on here as long as he stays on. Yeah, just a couple more minutes. We'll read a couple more chats, the rest of the chats, and then I'm checking out. Donald says, Raptor, you're responsible to bring forward the facts after you made the statement. Burden's on you, brother. Well, yeah, kind of, because if he says that every single report's been proven to be a hoax, that's absolutely incorrect. So, say to the end, man, Lockbeard ain't going yet. I'm about to, Mr. Lee. Raptor says, Donald, which episode are you talking about with New York? Please explain. Team Boy says, I can't stand to hear that dude talking. Who, Rocky Mountain Sasquatch? Yeah. He talks in the beginning, like earlier. Yeah. It's okay. I don't need light filters. Yeah. There we go. Anyway. I do think we probably should, let's get rid of this. Boom. I think we need to see the new Tom video one more time, because it's kind of funny. Oh, yeah.
Now, I want you to look at this flag. You may have seen it before. Hell, you might even know what some of the colors mean. At bottom gun, you'll learn them all. Be under no illusion, gentlemen, we are on the front line of a culture war. You see your color on that flag, pilot?
Yes, sir.
And they tell me you're a bisexual. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
I like that in a pilot.
Yeah, Mr. Lee loves Tom. Kelly Shashaw, what? You telling Raptor who you're talking about? Yeah. Yeah. Give credit where credit's due. And if I play this in the future, I ain't gonna keep saying this every time. But there's a channel called The Quartering. Dude named Jeremy talks about a lot of good stuff. Talks about some of the same news stuff that I talk about. Pretty much most of the time, I agree with him on stuff what he says. And anyway, his team puts together, because he's a big channel, right? He's a big channel. His team puts together intro videos to start out his videos with, like this. They'll make funny shit like this and start their video out. Anyway, I had to grab this one. I had to grab this one because Tom Cruise be up in my chat all the time. That's him. Yep, that's him. All right, y'all. I'm checking out. I don't know when I'm working the coming days, so I don't know what day I'll do another live stream. Tom Cruise says, "Timmy boy, I will sue you." Kelly Shaw, RMSO, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, y'all, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you whenever the next time is. Take it easy.